If you need help with addiction and don't know, if you need help with addiction and don't know where to go, you can call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration 24 hours a day. The number is 1-800-662-HELP or 1-800-662-4357. They work around the clock and will help you find what you need.
Hey, everybody, I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you were on the lifeboat. People, this is a good one, man. This is a big one. I'm really enjoyed this segment that we're doing. Before we get rolling, I want to thank everybody that's been keeping Journey and her husband in their thoughts and prayers. Obviously, their family's going through, some tough times after this accident. It was fairly serious. Journey's husband cut an artery, and he also damaged his leg pretty good. doing surgery today. If we keep them in our thoughts and our prayers, if we could also keep thoughts and prayers going for Deja as well. She's still working through some things, and we just want to keep her in our thoughts. But people, this is a segment that, boy, I get more ink on this, or more people that write to me concerning this particular segment. And what we're doing, as you know, is we've been following a gentleman that is working through sobriety and having the courage and just the heart to share this with the world as he's doing it, basically for no other reason than knowing that this is something that's going to help people, and it already has. The number of people who have stepped up to the plate because of the first interview that I did with Joe Birdwell, it's really awesome of him to come back on here. And I know the man's working hard, and we're sort of tapping him right after work, but it's a great opportunity for people that are watching what sobriety means, to have an opportunity to see somebody that's actually working through it. So, Joe, we got a lot of new people on the boat. For the people that are here and may not have seen although I did tell everybody to, but for those people that didn't double back and watch the first interview, if you could just give us a brief history of what the last 17 years was. You don't have to do the whole show that we did last time, but if you could just bring us up to speed on that, and then we'll sort of get where we're at today.
Yeah, I was 5 years old, like I said, and seeing that the cop and the teacher come out there with that case for drug awareness and having all these different samples of drugs, and the first time I realized that that marijuana was illegal, and that's pretty much where it started, and it just led to when I got to 14, just started doing drugs with my parents and my brothers and my aunts and my uncles and just everyone in my family, and everybody just enabling everybody, and it's pretty much no way out. I got to a point, time flies, I guess, when you're high.
Yeah.
But I got to a point to where I tried everything just to quit, and I just gave up. I mean, I just told myself, I guess I'm gonna be stuck like this forever, there's no hope for me, and I was pretty much hopeless, and I got to a point where I cried out to God and said, if I know He didn't make me, He didn't make me like this, He made the heavens and the earth and the stars and everything. I mean, surely He didn't make me to be this way, and then one thing led to another, and I came across a lifeboat, and just I had came across it before, but I never really clicked on me until I seen that part on there where writing the goodbye letter, and that really caught my attention, and doing that, I had to go back and examine myself, I guess you could say, and and really it was kind of a hard letter. I mean, to really go back and to do that, to kind of treat it like it was my best friend, and it wasn't my best friend, but it's just one step at a time. I mean, and next thing you know, I'm 32 days sober, and I mean, I can't believe it. It's just it's just a miracle. I mean, and it hasn't been easy. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's been all rainbows and butterflies, because it hasn't. I mean, every day I just got to take it step by step and day by day.
Absolutely. Well, and when we had you on the last time, I think you were 7 days in. So it was really, sort of at the start of everything that you were doing. And at the time, we had talked about it, especially after the interview, that there's sort of a honeymoon period when you first, get off of any substance, where once you get that realization that you're all in, you ride that wave of everything is perfect. And it's like you said, it isn't easy. So here we are at day 32. What has been the biggest challenges you're facing so far with sobriety?
Well, besides the urge to, just to want to use, I mean, one of the hardest parts to me is, I'm not, God gave me a chance to kind of look at me with a different perspective through other people's eyes, and not just the way I see myself, but the way, my wife sees me, the way my kids see me, the way anybody looks at me, kind of on the outside looking in. And that's one of the hardest parts, to realize the kind of person that I was, that I've been all my life. And it's really hard to, to see yourself through someone's eyes sometimes, because, you get a different perspective. And I mean, when you're on that drug, you don't really have a lot of a conscience, I mean, you're doing wrong things, but it's like, you're just selfish pretty much. You want to just, get high, and you'll do whatever it takes to do that. I mean, that's your number one priority. And you spend your time, your money, your effort, everything, and it's just a bad deal. I mean, other than that, it's just I've had to occupy myself with different things, like instead of getting high, I'm trying to do other things. I'm looking into getting back into school, looking in just anything I can do. I tune in the boat anytime I can. I tune into sermons on the internet all throughout the day, just anything that I can find to keep my mind occupied, because if not, you know, and I got to keep my hands and, keep my hands in control too. I mean, it's kind of like this. I played the piano and learned these hard songs, when I was a kid. And if I think about it while I'm trying to play them and I watch my hands, I can't play them. I mess them up every time. But if I just let my hands go, that it'll play songs just perfect, And it's like you kind of train your flesh, you train your flesh to do, it kind of has a mind of its own, And I think our biggest battle is ourselves, It's hard, if we can keep ourselves in check in our thoughts. I mean, it's, I don't know, it's step by step, day by day.
That's beautiful, man. That really is. We talk all the time on the boat, and it's, when you're sitting here in front of the camera and you're talking to people about, making points of contact and creating new things that you're doing. It's one thing for me to sit here and talk about it, but, to hear you come on and say, here are the things that I'm doing, because that's exactly, you're really taking the things that we talk about every day and you're putting them into practice as a way to build your life. I heard you say right before we came on the air that you had begun to start working out again, and as that was in answer to the struggle of sleeping. And I'll tell you, Joe, everybody who is going through where you're at right now, I've never met anybody that said, boy, I quit and sleep was just like that. We were right back to where I was. I've never met anybody that wasn't a struggle with. So sleep's been tough, huh?
Yeah, it has been tough. It's like I can go to sleep, my mind goes to sleep, but I'm dreaming the whole time. And it's like my body wants to act out the dreams. I throw myself out of bed and hit the wall and hit the floor, I'll throw swings and kicks. And it's just a matter of getting, I think, when your brain is used to releasing so much dopamine, that, and then you stop using the drug, it's trying to replace that with something. It's just trying to rewire itself, I guess. It's the only thing I can think of, and I'm trying to study, and I want to study it and, know the chemistry and everything of it, just anything I can to help myself, and to help anybody else, because I don't wish that on my worst enemy, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
And coming here and doing this, Joe, is a huge thing. To come on here and talk about the struggles, I promise you the number of people that this is helping is amazing. And I'll tell you, having done a little bit of study on this, chemical dreams affect everybody that quits. But your substance, what you quit, is really unique in that, we talk all the time about, this gets you high and then you have the reward center and you have all of those things. Well, your drug works on the reward center, right? It's the same chemicals that it's just overloading. So when you're on meth and you're living that way, when you sleep, you do not sleep like a normal person. That delta, REM stage of sleep, the meth addict might get that every 4 or 5 days. They might get it every 2 weeks. So the rest of the time, you're really just resting your body. You're not resting your mind. So you're working on 17 years. I'm not laughing, but you're working on 17 years of your mind being wide awake. So the fact that you're going through chemical dreams does not surprise me. But I think it's a great step. Working out is a good one. And again, that's another point of contact. As we talked about last night on the show with programming, when you start to put together an actual program of the things that you're doing, and I know you're doing them because, I get the emails and I get the texts, and I can watch you, redoing your life. And it's exciting, Joe. It really is for everybody here. It's so exciting to watch you do this.
If I was to if I had any words to say that, that would help anybody out there, I would just have to tell them, there is hope, there is hope. There is a way, God makes a way where there ain't no ways, and he makes the impossible possible, and he does love you, and there, there is a way, you just got to take that first step, you take that first step and he'll help you with the rest. I mean, and I'm not pushing religion or anything like that on anybody. I know how it is on the boat, but we're all in the same boat, and for me, it was my Jesus, that led me to the boat, I even come across a sermon in church the other day that was talking about the boat, and it just blew my mind, just, I mean, it's just crazy, but yeah, there is hope, and if I can be helped, anybody can be helped, I mean, because I'm a knucklehead, I always have been. I'm the worst, you know, but I'm glad that I came across the boat, you know. It helps with having people there with accountability and just people that know your situation and can relate to you, So people you can be honest to. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Well,
That
and
pays, you know.
yeah, I respect that honesty too, to come on here and talk about this is something. And what, you probably aren't seeing this as it's scrolling by, but you got people saying things like you're the light of this boat. And you got people saying that you're an inspiration. And I'll tell you something, man, you are. It really is the absolute truth. I think I told you this earlier, but my mom tunes in from time to time. I'd love to say she watches everyone, but she doesn't. But she's definitely not missing this because you really had an effect on my mom. And she said what really came across was just how positive you are. And I know that going through and doing what we do, it's a struggle, man. But your attitude, the whole attitude of gratitude thing is something that is so real. And we talk all the time about the difference between just being not using and rebuilding a life. And man, I'm inspired every day by the attitude you bring into the boat and the attitude you got in life. The videos, people, if you haven't gone over to his channel and check it out, please go over and check out Joe's channel. The videos that he gets up there. I mean, you want to just feel good, you can go to this channel, and I promise you, there's nothing you're going to see there that isn't going to make you feel better than when you started. And yeah, man, you're an inspiration. You really are to me. Much less to all of the people that are watching this. So going forward, man, any fears, or you feel like you're in this is pretty strong?
I'm in this pretty strong, but the main thing is, like I said, I please myself enough. I've been selfish enough throughout my life. I think my wife and my kids deserve all of me. And most of all, like I said, I mean, I'm not pushing religion, but the one thing that the burden that I always have carried is I want to please God. I want to be pleasing to Him. And I haven't ever been able to feel that way, but I'm feeling like that. That I'll start to feel like that He might be looking. He can see me in a different way. And that just that's the greatest reward that I could ask for. I mean, I want my testimony to be true. I want to be the real deal, not the person that stands up there and gives a fake testimony. And I don't want to wear the mask. I want to be the page 3 Joe. I've been paying attention. And I've been writing the page 1 and the page 2. I'm ready to live page 3 and not look back. And I made me a prayer list of all the different things I'm going to pray for, and and just watch them come to pass. I just praise God for you and Mark and the boat, man, and everything you do. I believe in you and in your mission, and I think God, I think you're everyone has a purpose, and I think you're serving your purpose, and just you hang in there with your school and everything's going to work out. You might have to be a full-time captain, but
Yeah.
You better get ready.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I really do. And yeah, it's good to know that you're solid in it, and you really are. I can't remember doing a video that I didn't see in the comment section. Honestly, I cannot remember one. And I know there are times you say, "Man, I'm fading out," and I know that that's going to be something you
Yeah.
struggle with, man.
Yeah.
But what's awesome is that you talk about it. What's awesome is that you're not, so many people just sort of crawl into themselves, and the fact that you're willing to say, hey, here's where I'm struggling. And, the sleep is going to be a thing. It really is. But working out and doing the things you're doing is, you said you went to church and you heard something about the boat. Church, a different experience when you're sober, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's a real deal. You can actually feel something, you can, instead of just going through the motions, that's not something I like doing, is just going through the motions. And I've done it for years and got me nowhere. One of the things I fear is when I go to sleep and I start dreaming that I'm using again. that's one thing when I dream that, because I have dreamed it a lot in the last 32 days. I dream that I'm looking for a bag, or that I'm, but I wake up and I'm just thanking God that it's a dream, because, that's not what, I just want to be far away from it as I can.
That is, first of all, it is super, super normal. Anybody, and I mean anybody, I can see the bobble right now going like this, right? Because everybody that has gotten sober, the chemical dreams, everybody does this. And you wake up going, oh my God, I relapsed. And then you lay in bed and go, oh, thank God it was a dream. I still do that. And I'm 6 years and change into it. Still happens to me all the time.
What's funny is, I'm not saying that you're not going to be tempted. Ever since this has started, I've gotten text messages, and I've had to not answer calls from the dope man, even though Mexico was trying to call me. I see the number from Mexico, like, no, better not answer that one. You just got to make a choice and stick with it. Temptation is going to be there. You just got to be strong enough to just say no, and that's the hardest part, just because, but you can do it, if once you make your mind up, that's all it is. You got to be strong enough, headstrong, and in your heart to just say no, but other than that, I'm good.
Well, you shoved every chip into the center of the table. I don't think there's any doubt about it. You're not phoning this in, man. It's pretty obvious to everybody involved that you're definitely all in on this. And yeah, don't let the just a quick story, because I know at least 2 or 3 people in the comment section are going to relate to this. But I was in prison, you know that, and as I got close to the gate, right after doing a lot of time, as I got close to the gate, I used to have dreams that I was on the street, right? But I had always just escaped. It was never that I was free. It was always that I had just escaped. And the police would be behind me, and I'd go, oh God, I'm going back. And I would wake up in a prison cell and go, oh, thank the Lord. Like, look around and go, I'm still in here. Thank God it wasn't one of those things. But yeah, the brain plays some pretty amazing tricks with you. You're gonna wrestle with the chemical dreams for a while. And there's actually a few books that are literally about nothing but chemical dreams, because there are some things that you can do to sort of, I've come to the point now where when I start having chemical dreams, and maybe it's just how long I've been doing it, but I'll go, man, I ain't getting high. Like, my brain snaps in the dream, like, man, ain't no way I'm getting high, and the next thing you know, I'm waking up and sort of giggling about it. But yeah, that one's gonna plague you, and the sleep thing is gonna plague you. But on the day to day, other than people reaching out to you, you keeping temptation in check, right?
Yeah. And I got a good job, I can't complain about that. I got to get up at 4 a.m. to get to work by 5 a.m. And luckily I get to go make some rounds, and then I go back to my office and I get to kind of doze off. I hate to say it, but I'll doze off for about an hour or two. That's the only thing helping me, and believe it or not, I haven't missed a day of work since I've stopped using. I haven't missed a day of work. Before that, I was calling in at least probably 3 or 4 times, a month, probably at least one. I always called in for something. I hadn't missed a day of work since I quit.
Yeah, that's your third page Joe, man. Third page Joe doesn't miss work. Yeah. It really is amazing when you start to see the transformation in your own life, where you're like, man, I'm just not that dude anymore. It's like you said, you were talking about, going to church and sort of, being a phony. And I did it for 2.5 decades, man. And I've gotten more out of church since being sober than I did in the 2.5 decades before then. And it's everything. Church is something that jumps out at me, because I too am a pretty religious guy, but everything that I do, there's not a day that goes by that something doesn't happen where I go, man, if I was wasted, I would not have appreciated this in the slightest. Sunrises, sunsets, everything are just different.
Yeah. You appreciate the beauty of what, life even. Life is fragile, man. We don't realize how fragile our lives are until we stop for a minute in the slow gear, and examine it, because, man, we're only a heartbeat away from death at all times, and man, I'm just glad that I finally opened my eyes.
We are too.
Yeah.
How about the wife? The last
time you
were on, she was.
She sees me on the boat every night. I'm logging onto the boat every night. She's asking me questions. What are you doing? What are you watching? I'm on the live feed, man. Yeah. Yeah, she's understanding. She's all down with it. As long as it's helping, she's cool with it. We go and working out together every night, so we're.
Oh, nice. See,
Yeah.
points and new points of connections, man, making new
She's
memories.
she's had to deal with a lot, Tommy. She just had to
I
deal with a
know it.
lot. And she, the whole time that I was doing all this, she was there at church praying for me. That, somebody's always praying for you somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh
There
yeah.
has to be. And that's what it was. She's there praying for you. I bet she prayed for me for 10 years or more, every day, just faithful going to church. And finally she's getting to, she got to finally see that God bring me to church. And I mean, I love her. I
Yeah.
couldn't find no one else like her. So she puts up with
No,
my crap.
you're blessed. There's no question. I'm imagining, other than the fact that you probably thrash around pretty good at sleep time, she's probably pretty happy with page 3.
She's about ready to kick me to the couch, man, already.
Yeah, I went through that. When when I got out of prison the last time. I got sober. I relapsed, but I was sober when I first got out, and I was married to I was a newlywed. And this poor woman, I scared the hell out of this woman. I can't tell you how many times. I did a show where I talked about, watching someone die in prison, get kicked to death. And I used to sit up in bed and scream. And this was something that about the third time it happened, she said to me, I don't know that I could do this, and same thing as you, I would end up on the floor, or I would end up, reaching out and grabbing a handful of whatever she was wearing. Cause, you really don't know what's going on,
It's exactly and it's the last few 30 days, or 30, actually been 32 days, but I mean, every night it seems like almost every night she's having to deal with it, and it's getting to where she's just worn out herself, but we started working out. It seems to have been helping a little bit, and I'm just trying anything I can, so just for her not to kick me out of my bed, because I don't want to be kicked out of my bed.
Working out, I promise you, every counselor at any rehab in the country is going to tell you that anything that you can do to start creating normal endorphin dumps in your body, and working out is a huge one. Basically, you're doing everything right. I promise you are. And it's one of those things where here you are at day 32. When we do the next one of these, I promise you it's going to be a different interview, because every day that you keep fighting the good fight, that those sleep patterns are going to start mellowing out a little bit. The chemical dreams they're going to happen for years, but they're not going to happen as often. I mean, I remember when I first quit, it was literally every night. And again, like you said, if I wasn't in the process of trying to use, I was chasing it. I was in town looking for the dope man, or doing whatever. And it's your brain playing tricks with you. It really is. After 17 years that your brain is so used to you throwing a switch to release all of those chemicals that, you just got to fight it.
My brothers told me not too long ago that if I'd quit, I was the reason why they were using, but they're still using, because I'm their older brother and this and that, and that really, it really hurt me when they said that to me. And my little brother got on his way to prison, man. He was looking at 15 years or more. And since this has happened, I prayed for him, and God opened the door for him to get out of jail, before he had to go. I mean, he's at home right now, and I haven't even seen his face since he's gotten out. I haven't been able to go over there and see his face even, because I don't want to risk, I got to get stronger before it's hard to say that I got to separate myself from my own family, but I do. I mean, I have had to, you know what I mean? Because everybody enables everybody, and when I get strong enough that I feel like I'm strong enough to go around on my, I will, but until then, I'm going to stay home. I mean, that's all I can do. I mean,
I hope everybody on the boat, right? Everybody on the boat just heard that. I get emails every day from people that say, you expect me to turn my back on my best friend? No, I don't. I just expect you to stay away from him until you're strong enough to be near him. And people, please tell me you just heard what Joe said, right? Somebody throw up a 5x5 that you just heard that. Because when you go all in, people, like we talked about last night, the difference between hedging your bet, the difference between dipping your toe in the water of sobriety, which I promise you is never going to work. You got to shove every chip in the middle of the table. And if it means avoiding people that you love more than life itself, you got to do that, because that's putting the oxygen mask on your face before you put it on somebody else's. And yeah, man, my hat is off to you in 15 different ways. I would pull up the trophy and hand it to you, but with what I'm wearing, it will disappear into the background of this boat, because I live on a magic boat, and it's liable to disappear pretty quick if I pull it up. But my hat is off, man. I can't even begin to tell you just how proud I am. And I know that, like I've said before, man, whether you like it or not, you kind of have become the face of the boat. You know, what you're doing is brave as hell. To fight the good fight is hard. To do it with a whole crew of about 1,800 people watching is is something else. And the fact that you've been courageous enough to do it, I'm telling you, the butterfly effect, right? You know, that just the smallest little things that affect so many people. I'm telling you right now, Joe, the number of people that have been affected by your story and are going to continue to be affected by your story. I know your accountability is thick because we lay it on you. We probably put more accountability on you than any person in history, but the number of people that you're helping. And, here's the thing, again, we're not a religious channel, but if you knew the number of people who have said to me, I mean, truthfully, just inspired to say, I'm really curious about this cat's religion, because when you see somebody that you can't fake real, right? There's no way to fake the genuine article. And when you come on here, you're a happy cat and you've got a ton of stuff that you're dealing with. You're honest and open about it, but you got a smile on your face the whole damn time, right? And there are a lot of people on this boat and a lot of people on this planet that long for exactly what you got. And that's, the fact that you're here and you're doing this is, I can't thank you enough. And you can see my partner, right? Poor guy. You know what I mean? He's in the process of breaking his neck on the other side of the glass because, we talk about you a lot, man. Your ears are probably always burning, but it's just such an amazing thing that not only you're fighting the good fight, but you're doing it with the entire world watching. And that's, I'm proud of you, and I consider you a brother, but I really, I can't thank you enough for how many people you're helping. I can come on here and talk about it till I'm blue in the face, bro. But after 6 years, no one's seeing it. They're hearing it. But when you come on here and you do it, and I should probably say this real quickly to people, that the idea to have you on was Mark, right? The way I had done the interviews had always been, boy, if I can get people that have got a ton of sobriety, then they can come on here and they can sort of, tell people what's going on. And Mark had the foresight to say, boy, if we let them watch the process, and we just really picked a winner, because obviously, people stumble, and that's part of the process. But we've picked a thoroughbred, because you're not just doing this, but you're all in. I'm so happy you said that about your family. It's tough. I know it is, man. That takes more discipline than anything else you're doing. In my opinion, it really does. But that's all in right there, man.
If I can say anything, just quit looking in the rearview mirror. Quit looking at tomorrow, worried about tomorrow. Just quit counting the days. Quit counting the days of sobriety. Just live for the day. That's it. Just day by day, step by step. Before you know it, you're gonna look back. It's gonna be so far gone that you can't remember her face.
Yeah.
Just you can do it, man. That's all I can say. Just keep going day by day. That's what's helping me. I can't, that's the only thing I know to say is yesterday's gone and tomorrow's not promised to you. So
that's it. So, and what we're going to do for the last 15 minutes is going to be a little different. We're going to, I got one thing to say before I do, but I'm going to invite on, who, and then we're going to allow, some of the people on the boat. There may be a question or two for you, man. And I know that there are a lot of people that are pretty invested in this, so there may be a question or two. But before I hand this over to my partner people, the one thing I need to tell you, we put up another point of contact up here for people. If you find yourself wanting to hurt yourself, right? We're not doctors here, right? We're all addicts and we're all in the same boat. But if you find yourself really, feeling like hurting yourself, we've got a suicide prevention hotline up there. Please dial that number. Those people care. They're a great, great group of people that will bend over backwards. Not that we won't, but there's things that, that get far beyond getting sober. And if you're feeling like doing something like solving a temporary problem with a permanent solution, please pick up the phone and dial that number, because that's, we want everybody here for the long haul. So that's up there. Please make sure you guys take a look at that. And now I would like to turn this over to my partner on the other side of the glass, who really has just been grooving to this. It's pretty obvious with the bobble action.
My head's about to freaking fall right off my neck. Yeah. Guys, listen, Joe's become a really good friend of both of ours already. And you don't build those kinds of things with somebody that's being fake. And he's definitely real, and you guys can see it, and that's why it's so powerful. And what he is, he's an example of what you guys can do, or I shouldn't say you guys, but all of us, because all of us are always going through it. So, and Tommy, sit up a little bit.
Sorry about that.
You were ghosting out on us, man.
Yeah, it's the magic of the boat.
Yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, but yeah, Joe, I really appreciate you, man. I can't tell you how much. It's one of those things, guys, where you don't expect certain things to happen, and then somebody like Joe comes along and like really puts it in perspective for people, and that's what it takes. It really takes. And Tom said it earlier. He's got all his chips on the table right now, and it's there. And what makes it even better is that he's willing to show everybody those chips. I find that when I do that, it's another level of accountability for me. If you put yourself out there like that, people get to see it. And then if you start messing up a little bit or whatever, people are going to see it. So it is one of those things you can use. And I'm with you on the religious thing too. Whatever it is you guys do, and like Joe and Tom both said tonight, we're not pushing religion. We're just pushing a positive thing. And that's what it is. And whatever it is for you guys, do it. Like I said, I keep going back to the Bible with stuff because that's what I know. Jesus didn't go into the house of the saved. He went into the house of the sinner. And that's where we're going. That's where we're all at. And, and I'm talking about addiction, not anything else. But
yeah, we know.
And but that's what it is, guys. And Joe is going in. He's loaded up. He's ready to take care of some stuff. You can tell. And that's dedication. And what really touches me the most is when he talks about his family. It's such a great thing, and because I got the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say. It's something that you won't ever be able to replicate. It's just going to be there. If it's there, it's there. Now, what I will say is the closest thing you can get to that kind of stuff is probably something similar to what we got here with the boat. We're going to try to do that for you if we can. But again, when you talk about your wife and your kids and stuff like that, your rest of your family, just the hardest thing for you, Joe, I think you're going to have to try to find a way to deal with your mind in the fact that don't be so hard when your family's still messing up.
Yeah. No.
It's not your fault. It's really not. Okay? Everybody makes their own decisions at one point in time. And even if it was at the beginning, it's not now. They're grown adults.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't let that get into your head, because those kinds of thoughts will lead to bad things.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. It is a struggle. I'm not saying that you're not going to think about stuff like that, because that would be ridiculous. That would be completely ridiculous for somebody to think that they're never going to think about that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But don't let yourself dwell on it. That's where it gets to be dangerous. And it'll suck you right back in if you do that. And I'm telling you from experience. I mean, honestly. Because I know all of us, all three of us here, probably 99% of the people in the chat probably know this already. It's just sometimes we have to voice it so we can hear it again. And I'm proud to call you a friend, just so you know that. Just so you know, man. Sure. I mean, honestly, it is a pleasure for me, and it helps boost me to the point where I feel stronger in my own sobriety. You're an example. You really are. And I'm not trying to put too much on you either, okay? So please don't think that. It's just how I feel. I mean, I'm just telling you how I feel about stuff.
Well, and it's too late for that, because this is the highlight reel. I mean, we've got Fiona saying you're an inspiration. We've got people saying you're the light of the boat. No, honestly, I know that Anna, the evangelista, said that she's been here, but didn't want to comment while you were talking because she felt that was disrespectful. But she just wants you to know how blown away she is at what you're doing and what an inspiration you are. You know what? That's pretty much every single person on the boat tonight that is saying that. I even see my adopted sister is on the boat, and I know that she's made the trip because of exactly what this interview is, and this is a big deal, man. This really is. It's Ariel, good to have you on here. Ariel is my adopted sister, so to speak. We met on the internet, and just a great girl who's very, very active in sobriety, and because of which is everywhere. So I know that when she pops up here, it's because we got a really good one going. You know what I mean? So, and when you were making a comment about not looking at the past and not looking too far into the future, she had written in the comments that she had just finished getting tattooed just for today on her arm. So I'm telling you, man, there's a lot going on in the comment section today that is just really, everybody's really happy with what you're doing, my friend.
Do yourself a favor after the stream. Go back and rewatch the live chat.
My head, I feel like the bobblehead right now.
Yeah, I tell you, it's awesome, and that is one of the things that the boat does provide people. We're able to relate. That's why my head just keeps going. It's because we relate to each other in a way that nobody else can relate to us.
Boom.
That's just exactly what it is. And it's a hard thing to find. I've been searching for it for 10 years, and finally it's here. Again, I have to go back to my family. That's the only other place I could be real with people, really. But I'm completely open. Always have been, even with all this. I really have. But, this is a different level of openness. What are you laughing at me?
Bobblehead is contagious, and you saw that in the comment section. So apparently this is contagious. Yeah. So we're gonna quarantine Mark. But there's just a lot of love today for you in the comment section. Brandon, still fighting the good fight. Got another day underneath his belt. Brandon, just keep doing what you're doing.
Go, Brandon.
And I've seen you congratulate him in the comment section. I lost count of how many times. So it's not just fighting the good fight, but it's here supporting everyone else while you're doing it. I think that's probably why you're as popular as you are with the crew, because, in spite of the fact that you're doing this and you're wrestling with all of the things that sobriety means wrestling with, you're here to support any single person along the way. And that is absolutely beautiful. And Ariel says 30 days is so many miracles, man, and so beautiful. Nice, Ariel. I love that comment. And it's the truth. There's a lot of God action in 32 days after 17 years. That is one miracle after another. And you know what? Thank God for them. We know that they're going to continue. We really, we're happy, really happy. And we'll trap you like we did last time. You're going to come back, right? We're going to do this and
I'll
keep
updating. I'm here for the long run, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, if you guys want to ask some questions, you can. I'm sure everybody's up for that. You up for that, Joe? You okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to ask some questions in the chat or super chat it, whatever you want to do, however that works best for you, just drop it down in there, whatever you got, whatever question it is. I mean, obviously, there's going to be certain things there's no way we can answer, but yeah, if you got anything at all, you want some advice on, from Joe. I mean, let me tell you something, guys. There's something to say for somebody that's been through something for so long, like myself. I've been in sobriety for a long time. But there's another thing to talk to somebody that's currently, like, in the height of doing things. You can learn a lot from that. Because they're there. They're going to be passionate about it with you. So if you got any questions, please pop them in there.
Pamela Swan says, I needed to hear you tonight, Joe. And that, boy, if that isn't just what we were saying, huh? Just what we were saying. The number of people that you end up helping, and that's the nature of sobriety. When you're doing it, and you're all in, and you're doing it right. The number of lives you touch, I'm telling you, it's not something you can even calculate. I see Fiona Crispin just put up your YouTube channel, and we've got some people that say they have just headed on over there to subscribe. Jacob Forrester says, and you've got a stone pillar of backbone on Joe. You can't sell his will short. No, there's no question, man. There's no question. There's some titanium in that backbone, and we're sure proud of you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I love you all.
Great comment section, man.
Yeah, I mean, and CW put in there, join the Facebook group. I would strongly encourage everybody here to do that. Okay?
No question.
That is something that you get more of an immediate, if you're, outside of these shows in the chat rooms and stuff, that while we're doing these shows, you'll there's most definitely usually somebody in that Facebook group checking on it, just kind of looking at it for a minute or whatever. And if they see something, if somebody's in there commenting or whatever, they're gonna most people are gonna stop and be like, "Hey, you okay?" Or if you're having issues, all that kind of stuff. So it's a great avenue to go down.
And Ariel says, I just want Joe to know he's loved and he's believed in and he's got this and we're here for him. Oh, that is beautiful, isn't it? Thank you, Ariel.
That is
good stuff. That is good stuff.
I had a question, Joe. I mean, how's the rest of your family dealing with this?
Honestly, I have gotten some pretty good support, like from my mom and my brothers, but at the same time, there's days that they'll text me out of the blue, like thinking that I'm lying to them or something, that I still got some stuff for them or something, and I just gotta ignore them, I just let it pass, and eventually they text me and tell me they're sorry. So I mean,
right. I think that's a good subject that all of us kind of go through that. We become liars, right? And for me, I had to you have to rebuild that trust, and I'm saying that because not necessarily for you, Joe, but for anybody listening to me. I mean, that's something that you're going to have to understand with your family. It took you however long to destroy that trust. It's not going to come back immediately. It's going to take a minute. And let me tell you, you want to know how to build that back? Is just be who you are.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. That's the only thing that's there's not one magic thing you can do to automatically get your trust back. Okay? And it takes a while, guys. It really does. If your family asks you to do something that really isn't that big of a deal that makes them more comfortable, do it. Okay? I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is the truth. I mean, it's like with my medication, my Suboxone. I don't necessarily need to be dosed out every day, but and now we've gotten to the point where I just leave my bottle in there and we both have access to it. But before it was like hidden and all that stuff, right? And you don't argue those kinds of things because that's what they need. They need to get through that in their own mind too. We're going through stuff really, really hard, but they're going through it too. And, and I hate to say it like this, but it's our fault. It's our fault they're going through that. So let them have that. And I promise you, especially talking to you, Joe, I know your family's going to be there. It's going to be there, man. You'll get it back. That trust is going to come back. Eventually, you won't even think about it. It'll be just like it always was.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's
Jacob Forster left a comment that I got to hit because this is something that I love this. I know a bunch of people that did this, but he said, I had to tell the people in my old neighborhood that I had a lot of heat on me so that they would leave me alone. I've told this story before, but I had a friend who honestly had 2 people call every dealer he knew and say, hey man, so-and-so has been talking to the cops. Like that was his way to burn every single bridge that he possibly had. You know what I mean? Like there does come times where, those all in moments, not where you're at, my friend, but you know what I'm saying? There really are, the things that people have to do. It's an amazing, we're all in the same boat. The world that we lived in, say 35 days ago for you, it's just such a different world than the one you're in now. Yeah. And the one thing Mark said that I really agree with is you want to see people just start believing you, just keep doing the right thing. And all of a sudden there'll be a day where, they're going to say something and it's just going to shock you. Like you're the go-to guy. We recently have had some things, in the family where somebody had asked if it was an executor of a will kind of a thing. And they had suggested that maybe I would be, a candidate for one of them. And I honestly had to sit down when someone said that to me, like, you have got to be kidding. Like, that's how far I've come, because there was a time where they would have said, We don't want him in the state while we're talking about this, much less part of anything. It really is just, it's a process, but it's a great process, man. Yeah. And you know what? You got a smile on your face that never leaves. I love you, Joe. I really do, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on here and doing this again. It's gutsy, and boy, the entire boat loves you, man. They really do. And
I love y'all too. Anytime
none more than me, though. Make no mistake, none more than me. For real. So happy that you came on here. I know Mark feels the same way.
Yes, sir.
And people, you have my word. He will be back. Is there anything you want to say, tell the boat before we wrap this thing up?
Keep fighting the fight. Never quit quitting. Get out there and save somebody.
There you go, man. You know what? Mark, you could cut that. I'm not gonna say anything after that, man. I think he just summed that up.
All right, we got it. We got this under control. So yeah, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be a morning video from Tommy, and then we'll be back tomorrow night with the live stream. And Joe, thank you so much for doing this. You are definitely helping a lot more people than what you could probably ever imagine. Just think about this for a second. After we get off of this, guess what? This will be on YouTube for years.
Decades.
So that's how many people you're going to affect with this. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, guys.
Boy, Joe, that was awesome.